So I'm going to do a little video essay here now. I'll pretend this is class. Attention class. So anyway, there was a movie. I don't know, I think it was called Fort Apache. Might have been. John Wayne and Henry Fonda, I think. Anyway, Henry Fonda played the new commander of a outpost in the West. And John Wayne was, well, a commander, well, an officer. And they began to fight the Apaches. Anyway, and Henry Fonda thought there was no match for the U.S. cavalry. And anyway, John Wayne, or the person, I can't remember his character's name, but he said yes, they were. More than he would have believed. So there's a case of eventually the commandant led the troop into, well, basically a massacre, where few escaped alive. And but for PR purposes, well, basically the idea that the CO had not oh shit, the idea that the commandant had led the troop into a trap, and he was responsible for the many deaths of the American soldiers. Was just, brushed under the rug. Anyway, so that's what then in addition to that, there's another movie about, it's called Gunga Din. It's about a water boy, an Indian water boy, who carries water for the English army, the British army, in India. At the time when the British were in control of India. Now there's these, I don't know, they're called thuggies. They worship some kind of demon god or some shit. Anyway, and Cary Grant's one of the players, and yeah, there's a lot of good players there, But there's three British stalwart British soldiers who find their way into the thuggy camp. See, they're getting ready to attack, and try to warn the British troops that were snaking up the hill to see what they could see or fight the thuggies, but they were going to be massacred because they would be surprised. See, the thuggies now had firearms. I mean, long rifles, black powder rifles or something. So that's one thing. Now there's two, and there's another movie called Four Feathers. It's about how if you're in the British Army at a certain time, you can be shamed with 4 feathers. If somebody puts 4 feathers in your kit or something like that, that shows that you're a coward. Something like that. Alright, now I put all that on the table now, right? And what is today? Today, my friend, is Veterans Day, 2012. Alright, the time is about 1 o'clock p.m. And of course, I am Operations Officer Windfall. I work for the CIA. Also work for God. Don't say that, because that's not supposed to be told. How am I supposed to know I'm working for God? I mean, God knows, but nobody else is supposed to know. So anyway, I guess the long and short of it is that sometimes years later, you found a piece of gold and it just snaps. It goes into place. The puzzle is solved. that puzzle, but there are lots of puzzles. So, I guess a few days ago I solved the puzzle, not with the help of somebody that knew the answer. And if that person knew the answer, I don't know. They did know the answer. And when I recognized the answer, I relayed it to the people that needed the information. It was a critical information kind of thing. It was, I guess you'd say, a critic had to be issued to the President of the United States, or people that are around him, the DOD, the CIA. Right. So that's that. So I guess I don't know. In many ways, my life is sort of like a strange phenomena. Very strange phenomena. I mean, there's a book, and it might be a movie, but there's a book called The Master and Margarita. Anyway, it's a good book. And basically it relates to how in the 1930s, basically the devil comes to a park to talk to people about Jesus. And see, these two Soviet scholars were discussing whether or not Jesus was a real person or was a historical myth. Anyway, the devil, masquerading as a professor, foreigner, said that Jesus was real, and sort of gave an account of the crucifixion of Jesus, the trial and crucifixion of Jesus, according to the devil, of course. Anyway, so I guess you'd say, it's always the devil's in the details, which comes to mind all the time. If I knew the details of my life and my previous incarnations, my previous manifestations, then I would know a lot of stuff. But I don't. So therefore, I can only say that when I was in the Army, I was in the Army on many occasions, in the Navy, in the Marine Corps. I was in the Merchant Marine. I was in a Greek prison camp, and I was during the First World War. I was all over the place. I've been so many places. I was fighting the Babylonians. I was one of the Babylonians. And somebody say, "You lived all of history, haven't you?" Yes, I have. But anyway, but this one particular one, I was in, I think it was S2, battalion level supplies, I think, and or logistics. And they wanted me to make sort of like a chart for training schedules and shit. Anyway, and because I was waiting for my clearance, my crypto clearance from NSA. And as I was doing that, the sergeant major came in and asked me if I would go get some wood to make a bicycle rack. And I said, I don't know how to get some wood. He said, well, just go find a construction site, pick some up. Well, if you're a dog robber or somebody who's got some knowledge about how to steal stuff, well, you could do that, but I didn't know anything about stealing stuff. Now I know a lot about stealing stuff, or I remember it a lot. So I didn't do it, even though Top told me to. So, now the other top, that is the top of my company, that is the senior NCO in charge, he gave me the word once, because I made a hot dog all by myself. We had a big giant, it was an Army Security Agency wingding. Every year they have a wingding. That was the last wingding they had, because ASA was disbanded in 1975. So, and then suddenly, out of the blue, my top, my S2 top, was Command Sergeant Major of the Army. Now, how that happened, I do not know. Because he had no particular sterling qualities that I'm aware of, but yet he became the top NCO in the whole entire Army. Sergeant Major of the Army. Can you imagine that, babies? So the moral of the story is, in 1976, all kinds of shit happened. Everybody's high and fucked up and monkey fucking sucks. This nasty stuff. Well, like it is today, 2012. Look at that. See, there's a good place. Look, that's an Orthodox church, an Orthodox cathedral, no less. Yeah, it's very pretty. Anyway, why am I telling you this? I referenced what? 3 movies, and also some little portion of my previous existences. It's because I want you to be aware that I'm aware, and then you're watching me, and I'm watching you. And it is a looking glass war. We're both staring in the mirror at each other. And there's nothing to separate us at all. And the only thing we have in common is probably that we drink coffee. Except you use drugs. And I don't. Not really. I hate drugs. Just say no to drugs. Just say no to drugs.